guys, and welcome to yet another speed build. I'm back again. This is, full disclosure, part 1 of 2 for this build. We are doing the Magic HQ today, which you would have already seen on the thumbnail, but you know, I'm just going to state the obvious. Yeah, I'm building this here in Del Sol Valley because the lighting is just epic and a lot more realistic than the one in the other realm. It kind of would have messed with my brain to build in there. So I do the entire exterior here in Del Sol Valley, and then at the end of this video you'll see that I move it into the other realm to do the landscaping, because you know your landscaping really does depend on the surroundings. But I just have to say, quick note, this here would make an epic mansion in Del Sol Valley. Del Sol Valley can do these kinds of builds. I think I did Royal Palms in Del Sol Valley as well. It's just perfect for them, to be quite honest. So I know I will never turn this into a mansion, but if you have spare time and you feel like doing it, feel free. I'm releasing this in 2 parts because this build is... Well, the thing is though, it's a 50 by 40 lot, but I don't feel it's that big because it's just a very wide build. It's actually based on Drachenberg castle in Germany, and I had it pinned a while back and I just rediscovered it on Pinterest and I was like, this is perfect. It's actually a villa built, I would say it's got to be like, if it was over here, it would be during the Victorian period. So I don't know what that period was called in outside of the UK. I don't know what period that time was, if it was Victorian times as well, because that's all to do with Queen Victoria. But yeah, during that same period, so it actually matches the time period for the houses that I did for the rest of Glimmerbrook. It actually fits in perfectly with those, but this one's more of a Gothic theme. It uses all of Felix Sander's Gothic content. I haven't actually finished the interior yet. That's going to be out in like 3 days time, but I have done the outside, and basically I've only used his Gothic content that he's produced so far. The last month was Gothic, and I think way back in the very beginning was Gothic as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I think it's going to be pretty minimal on the inside. Definitely going to have the same kind of brick inside as it does on the outside. That's all I've got. I think I've done the floor plan so far. Yeah, and that's about it. I was almost struggling, like, what do you put in a Magic HQ? Because I didn't want it to be like I didn't really want it to be, hey, it's Hogwarts and you can live there kind of thing. So I do have another tower that you'll see being built in a little bit, and it's kind of like a guest tower, so you will be able to stay there. On the bottom floor it's going to have like a living area, and then it's going to have a sleeping area on the next level up, and then it's going to have a bathroom there as well, and then it's going to have like a magic potions room, and then it's going to have like a garden. It ends up having a glass roof on the tower, not this tower, another one. So yeah, that's going to be like this little sleeping area that your Sims are going to be able to go to. But for this video we are just concentrating on the exterior. It was a process. I think over 2 days I did this build. I think I started it on was it a Saturday or was it a Friday? I started it on a Saturday afternoon. It was like I was in a weird funky mood, so as I said in my last video, I was like, oh, it's been a week. So I started it and I was like, okay, we're just gonna do this. It was looking okay by the end of the day on Saturday, but it was okay, continue. Then I worked on it on Sunday afternoon, and then suddenly I was like, oh, this looks kind of good. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see I did a few sneak peeks. Actually, I also did sneak peeks here over on YouTube. I was that happy with it. So yeah, I'm just happy for you to finally see what it all looks like. And most of the whole process that takes long is because I detail the build as I go along. Some people may build the whole entire shell and then just fit everything in, but I like to make sure everything's gonna fit properly and the proportions of the whole build are correct, so I kind of do a little bit more as I go along. I didn't really need to do the wallpapers as I went along, but I did because I'd rather look at wallpaper than the plain, what was it, drywall that they have. So yeah, I do that, and I managed to use this dome. I think it's the first time I've ever managed to use that dome. It is a little bit big for the build, but if I sized it down, I wouldn't be able to put a complete room in there, and I do actually do a room made of half walls. You'll see in a little bit, there's a room made of half walls that the dome ends up sitting on, and then I put some dome windows. I had no idea how to use this dome, so I actually had to stop recording and then go and look at Felix's build to see how he used the dome, and I was like, oh, there's windows that go in it. Obviously decorative kind of just window frames, so I end up putting those on and then I kind of decorate over them. But yeah, I haven't done really any Gothic builds. I think I've done one Gothic build. You won't have seen it. It's on my gallery page, and it's like an abandoned old church, and it was for Halloween. It was a group collab on Twitch, so yeah, you guys won't have seen it, but that is the only Gothic build I've done. I don't ever seem to find Gothic inspiration maybe in places. So I was very happy that I found this castle to recreate, and I was like, yes, it's Gothic and I get to do it. I feel like it's definitely, yeah, it is Gothic revival. If you don't know, the whole kind of Victorian age was just a revival of older styles of architecture. So this Gothic just fits in perfectly with that time period. It's definitely Gothic revival. This is not, hey, this was built way back when. No, it's definitely Victorian Gothic revival. And yeah, I'm just very happy. I had to do a slight amendment on the floor plan. I actually managed to find a floor plan on a website for this castle, so I'm like, thank you. You just kind of get to see it. I went on Google Earth. A lot of these builds I said are inspired by real life builds, and I do always try and find them on like Google Satellite or Google Street View. I go and find them. I found this one, and they had like the 3D satellite view of it. But you can't really see the back of the build too well, and there's like a whole section of it is just blurred and weird. But so the floor plans really helped out there, and it's just a really, really, really long, wide build, but not that deep. So it was, I had to kind of move. There's the second tower that I don't think I've built yet on this video, and it's meant to be at the very end of that section that has the dome on the left hand side. In the real build, apparently I think that's meant to be an art gallery. In this build, it's going to end up being where the practice dueling. I already mapped out, it has place for the dueling mat thing, so yeah, you'll be able to practice in there. But it's meant to be at the very end of it, so it's meant to be even wider than it ends up being. But I just had to kind of sneak it round the corner behind the art gallery so that I could fit in all the elements. I wanted to make sure that was definitely in the build, but we just had to kind of tweak where it was located. And I definitely wanted to make sure I kept in that second tower because I think it balances out the rest of the build. But yeah, I managed to kind of keep it pretty much the same shape otherwise. Lots of times I do this build, yes, I do take reference material, and I had a whole reference build for this, but I normally end up tweaking the design because it all depends what elements I have to use. Like, you know, I don't always have the perfect windows or the perfect this or that or the other to make the build exactly, so I kind of play around and add in different elements and things like that. It did have a clock in the tower, but so that's definitely something that I want to keep. And the other tower has a decorative, I think it had a decorative crest in it, and I was like, yes, I can use those I'm going to say they're like terracotta heads that I've put there on the archways. Yeah, I use those on the tower as well to finish that off. But yeah, as you can see, it's kind of coming together. I thought it was okay at this point, I think. But I just was kind of just decided, let's just finally get all of the build put in and we can do all the detailing later. I've got to say, when you're using custom content, especially windows and doors, you don't have to think about mapping out everything as hard as you do when you're using just EA content. Of course, with EA content, you haven't got the whole, oh, I have this window and I have it on a single tile and I have it on a double tile. You don't really have that luxury. So if I was doing this as a CC free build, I would definitely be doing all the windows and doors as I went along to kind of make it look correct. As you can see, I've kind of done it on the front. I've maybe mapped out where stuff needs to go with a few doors and windows, but on the back I did the entire back of the build without anything there. That thing, those windows and that door that you see there is just copied from the front. So yeah, I just can do it so it looks nice, and then I can fit all my windows in with custom content because I know I can always evenly distribute the windows and the doors in the space provided. So it's kind of, I can just chill and do it. So yeah, I think I've added in quite a few walkways using those Gothic arches just to add a bit more interest. And also this tower, it had some kind of smaller towers attached to this tower. Kind of were they hexagonal? They were more rounded kind of towers, but we don't have rounded towers, and I couldn't even make a room that small, so I ended up doing a huge kind of additional tower thing. So yeah, I did put in those double story windows originally in the second tower, but then I looked at my reference material again and I was like, no, it has a square window there and a decorative crest above, and then below it has like a window with a door with just onto a balcony. It's a bit of a weird one, but I was like, no, I prefer this. So I actually went back and changed it afterwards. These Gothic fences just fit beautifully in the window. They make a really good extra decorative piece, so I just wanted to do that. In each tower I kind of tried to change them up and have it look a little bit different. I did want to try, I think on the real build it has a kind of spiraling staircase maybe up that tower, so it has a spiraling design on the outside. Tried to do that with the new fences, but yeah, it just did not look too hot. I think Waddesdon Manor has exactly the same thing as well on it, and I think I did that with straight pieces of, I think they had like decorative balustrades from, what is it called, Get Together. I did that with, and still, it just doesn't work. Even if I was using, that mod, was it called the Tool mod by Twisted Mechs, where you can move anything, rotate it and all that stuff. I definitely want to have a play with that, but I feel like it's going to be a huge headache, a huge learning curve, and it's like I don't normally have that much time to play around in the game, so maybe that will not happen for a while. But yeah, I'm just playing around and adding stuff in, still referencing back to the original build, but just adding my own little twist to it. And yeah, it's not too big on the inside actually. I was kind of worried, but it's just long and not so deep build, so we have that luxury. Also, not that much landscaping that I had to end up doing when I finally do move it, but yeah, I'm just happy that I decided to move it into the other realm before I did the landscaping, because I don't think I would have done the landscaping the same way if I did it in this world. But yeah, I'm just detailing this tower. This tower is a little bit shorter than the one that's in the center of the build. So I'm just adding more and more and more details and figuring out. I think that's the thing that takes me the longest, is just to work out what kind of architectural elements I want to add on and what kind of details I want to do. So adding that fence there as a detail made me think, oh, maybe I could just do balconies out here. So that's what I end up doing. So it is a spin on the build, but I think you can kind of still see the way it is referencing the original build. So yeah, I do off camera, I changed this. I used half walls for this top floor. I end up using a regular full height wall for it, and then I put a glass roof on top because I went and put the stairs in the build, and then I realized if you put stairs up to this top level, and I really wanted a garden up there, if you put the stairs up to the top level, the whole entire tower would be in outdoor lighting, which is way annoying. So I ended up putting a glass roof, and I thought, hey, it can still kind of be, you can still have plants here, and it would make sense with the glass roof. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing for this. So yeah, I managed to fit in the stairs, but boy was it a headache because it's the tallest wall height, so they are like the longest set of stairs you could possibly get, and it's kind of difficult to do that. I know you can kind of do a 3x3 you can get into a tower now. I think that might be on the shortest wall height though. I'm not sure if that's the tallest wall height as well. So most of the tower is kind of taken up by stairs, but I left enough room in there for the tower to be functional and everything. It's kind of, let's just call the tower is like the guest apartment. This whole entire tower is a guest apartment, which is, I haven't decorated it yet, but it's gonna be kind of cute. So I already have, as I said, I already have the floor plan done. So I know kind of, as I'm doing the floor plan, I'm already mapping out in my head what area is going to be for each. I've totally forgot when I was doing the floor plan how many sages there were, if there were 3 or there was 4. I'm pretty sure there's 3. I'm going to have to check again, because I think the cover artwork has 3 sages on it. I'm not too sure. But yeah, there's definitely 4 rooms available for sages, but I'm only going to need to use 3 rooms for them. I don't even unfortunately know what each sage does. I'm gonna have to research that one. I know I'm definitely gonna do one that's more herbal and, you know, make a whole room over that's got more plants in it and stuff. But the other 2, maybe I'll do one that's slightly darker. I know they don't have any, I know the sages don't really do the dark arts, but I think I'm going to have one that's slightly more darker, and then one maybe that's all greatness and sugar-coated lightness. It's probably the 3 different ones. We'll have a herbal one for the dark arts, and one for the light arts. With demolishing the Magic HQ, this whole kind of problem is that your sages don't really know what area to stay in. But I think they do still stay on the lot, but they just don't know what areas they're meant to stay in. I don't know what it is in the build that attracts them to certain areas, so I can't recreate it. There is a mod, if you want to correct that yourself, there is a mod that has like the attractive whatever it is for each sage, and you can put it as a piece of artwork in the room, or you can do it as a carpet, so you can kind of fix that. I just decided that I wasn't gonna download the extra piece because it was kind of pointless. It's not like a necessity, so if you want it, you can add it in and just add in the correct mats into the correct areas. But yeah, it's not really a necessity, so I was like, yeah, I'm not going to use that in my build, but if you want to, it's easily added in. So yeah, I've moved the build over to the other realm, so I'm doing all of the, I think I've managed to keep in all of the terrain painting. It kind of looks a little bit epic in this other world. I've got to say though, I do prefer the Del Sol Valley lighting. Of course, this other realm is a little bit special, if you get what I mean, because it's a giant floating island, and it's got this magic HQ here, and also the whole purple sky during the daytime as well is kind of a little bit special. I have to say, I really like the way that they did the other realm. Again, my sadness at the conservatory in the distance of this being just for decoration is that I think that was my most disappointing thing about the pack. Was I was just like, what do you mean the conservatory is just for decoration? I just couldn't understand how that was a thing, but it is, and just have to get over it, because I haven't played in this world at all. But now I barely get to play. I think I played last week, and that was the first time in months I've been able to play the game. And I haven't played it in over a week now. Yep, I haven't played it in over a week again. So just back to building. I've got to say I'm super hyped for University to come out, and I'm really, really scared about what the theme of the world's going to be. As I said before, many a time, I'm like, I really want a European university world, and I'm so scared that it's not going to be that, and then I'm going to be like, what am I going to build? Because if it is themed like that, come on, the builds are going to be coming out of me like it's nobody's business. But if it's not themed like that, I'm like, oh god, what am I going to build? Maybe though, if it's not themed like that, I'll be more inspired to build without CC. As I said, I'm really lacking inspiration for CC free builds. I am someone that is constantly on Pinterest, if you don't know already, and I'm constantly looking at my feed, finding new pins. Then when I'm constantly clicking from pin to pin to get more and more ideas. So I've just not seen anything that's inspired me CC free wise, which I'm kind of disappointed about. I would love to be able to have some CC free builds up on the channel again. But yeah, because believe it or not, if I just tell you about the whole process, these CC builds take me actually a lot longer than if I was building without CC, because the whole process of having so many choices is of course something that makes me take longer to build. And then of course, particularly I'm talking about Felix's content, there are so many decorative elements that I can add onto a build, which you can see I've put a window, but then I've put how many different elements around the window, which is different to normally in a regular build. I'm just going to put a window and just move along. So that takes extra time. And then the whole process of listing out the custom content and making a Tumblr post. I always make those for all of my CC builds and tend not to do it for my CC free builds. So yeah, that makes the whole process a little bit longer and a little bit more time consuming. And really my CC free builds are kind of like a breather almost. They're just like, I've done it. I press upload to the gallery and it's finished. It's quite relaxing. I just need inspiration, to be quite honest. I don't have any, but I'm just glad I'm not uninspired completely, because I'm really inspired to do all these other builds. I'm just not inspired with the CC free. So yeah. Oh, I have to say, on the story of CC, of course I talked about CC in my last build. I talk about every build, but someone left a glorious comment on the sneak peek for this build. They said, I think they said too much CC, I hate CC or something, or like I don't like CC. Actually, I have to find it, because this made me giggle, and I was like, how do I respond to this? Sometimes you get some rather strange comments and you're like, how do I respond? But oh god, we're going into screenshots. Who cares? I'm just going to continue. I have to read this comment. The comment was, let's find it. we're going way into screenshots. I don't even have that many screenshots to fill this gap. It's a black on the screen right now. They said too much CC, don't like CC. And I said, that's okay. I'm not building it for you, which is a little bit sassy. Hey, what can I say? And 100 of you thumbs up my reply. So thank you very much for making me feel happy and supported in my quest here on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, supporting, and all that good stuff. I'll be back very, very soon. Bye, guys.